And we have a good idea as to how MaxPax will approach this. How will the Zerg player approach this? Spawning in the right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the Danish Protoss. We have the Danish Protoss, the red Protoss player himself representing Sashon Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the South Korean Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. So calming down, we're settling into our fresh series, fresh best of 5. Well, let's go. And again, this tournament is still featuring the older map pool. So we have Tokamak, which is very favorable here towards defensive and more turtle-heavy play. So the pressure is going to be on Solar here. The pressure's on Solar. How does he break MaxPax early, or does he rush into the late game and rush into early lurkers? What's the plan? We have seen some players, I say some players, specifically Lambo. We've seen Lambo mess around a lot recently with Microbial Shroud Ultras, like going into like Ling Hydra into Ultra, into Infestor, into Ultra Infestor, and having a lot of success against Protoss. I'll be honest, he's the only player I've seen do it. Like he's, or at least attempt to do it. Like I haven't seen like Solar or Raynor or Serral or any of the other Zergs like attempt that style. Apparently Oreo, I think it was like last week, I think Oreo said that Rogue was trying it, which I'd have to take him for his word. Like I haven't seen Rogue do it himself, but maybe he did it in another tournament that we didn't cover. Is Solo want to experiment and to try to play that style? We'll see. I don't think he is one to experiment, but we'll see. Good to see some top Zergs in the weeklies. We always see top Zergs in the weeklies. They just typically go down early. I think there's like a false narrative that like Zerg players don't compete, but Raynor competes, Rogue, Solar. It's just they often go down like in the quarterfinals. But I hear Solar doing well. Doing well for himself. Sully has been on that grind, and we'll see how he compares. Does pick in. Starting with the Overlord, even supplies blocks for a moment there. And we'll keep an eye on the Twilight Council timing. Once again, we're keeping an eye on the timing here of the Twilight Council for early Blink, early Glaives, or standard game. Eyes are on MaxPax. Ooh, and that is going to be an earlier council. Okay. That's the MaxPax. Early council out of MaxPax. Throws down 2-3 more gates. This looks like Glaive Adepts. Yeah, it looks like 4-gate Glaives. Now, if you remember, the one game that Hero attempted 4-gate Glaives, it wasn't worth it. It was actually on this map, if you remember. It was game 1 versus Solar, where the Glaives failed to really get any damage done, and Hero fell behind. We'll see if a MaxPax can succeed where Hero failed. Oh, wait, well, okay. we gotta make up our mind. Blink is cancelled. We're not going for early Glaives, though. This was the same setup, but we're going into a very early charge. We're going for a very early charge timing. Now, this build is a little bit more do I say rare? It's a little bit uncommon. Oh, it's uncommon. Now, the goal here, the hope, is that the Zerg player skips Roaches and skips Banelings. The problem, especially in the latest patch, is that Banelings are a lot more viable. They're a lot more accessible in ZvP. More so than last patch. So this is meant to catch a player that's rushing into Ling Hydra. And it makes sense to do it on Tokamak. It makes sense. Like, winding it back, remember, we were assuming that, hey, one of the options that Solo could go for is to rush into Lurkers. Like, if he were to drone up heavily and rush into Lurkers and try to beat MaxPax into the late game, then he could try to take it here on Tokamak. So this is a little bit more calculated here from MaxPax. He's hoping that that's what Solo's doing, that Solo is skipping Roaches and skipping Banelings. We can see that he has the nest, and we need Banelings to defend. As we're banking up those Zealots. We're keeping them hidden. Charge is almost done. Here we go. Here comes the timing. Zealots they move out, and bam, we have 10 Banelings on the way. 10 across the map, actually. Uh-oh. Not defensively. And back at home, it's purely Ling Queen. Stalkers poke in. Charge shots are revealed. And Solar, he's out of position. Is he racing back? He's racing back home. He's racing back home. Oh no. Yeah, Bailey's being targeted. Zealots are surrounded, not bad. Yeah, Zealots are surrounded. MaxPax here overextends. Does get into the mineral line. He does get a couple of drone kills, but nothing major, and I believe Solo should hold. Yeah, Solo should hold on. Meanwhile, Bailey's every round. Oh no! Yeah, there's no way out. Massive connections. 9 probe kills. Very nice. And where exactly are we? Okay, so winding it back here. Sola did lose a good amount of workers. He lost 7 drones in total against the 9 of MaxPax. Sola, he now throws down his Hydrogen. He's droning. So Sola is re-droning, resaturating. I would say that MaxPax, he needed more damage. Ideally, when you rush into charge like this, your goal is to break a base and maybe even end the game. So MaxPax is not stopping. We have Storm on the way. War Prism as well. And we'll see how strong this timing hits. As he's warping in more Zealots. Here comes the second wave. Can MaxPax still in Sola's face? Now with Archons. And Solar is morphing in a couple of Banelings. He's got 2 Banelings on the way. Let's go. Solo trying to collapse on the army. Gets us around with some of the Zealots. Not bad. And Queens are coming in as well. Solo, he's holding. Solo, he's holding on. Stasis goes off. Storm is almost done. And so far, there are 2 High Templar. They're gathering energy. And Solo, he's going for the all-in. Yeah, I mean, after the chaotic start here, Solo, he's kind of works at 66. You can see no drones. Like, he's not droning up his 4th base, no saturation, pure Ling and Bane Hydra. So 3 base all-in out of Solar, 4th base just for Larva. There's going to be some defensive storms. But MaxPax's army here, he doesn't really have much to work with. If he had Mass Blink Stalker, then sure, alongside this army. But because of the early charge, he's exposed. MaxPax is exposed. Prism zones away. Zealots are dealt with. Solar, he's holding. Now he can focus on this push. He can focus on his all-in. MaxPax still trying to expand. Ay. Now, once again, just like against Hero, Solar can get on top of this High Templar. He can just end the game. He can just end the game. He wants those Templar. There's the first 2 storms. A little bit trigger happy. And MaxPax a little bit nervous. As soon as they collapse in, there's the 3rd storm. Banelings are rolling to the mineral line. Nice defense. So MaxPax is holding on. Oof. There's one Baneling connects, and there's what, 2 storms left. The expansion goes down. So far, MaxPax is holding. He's holding on, he's defending. Still run by is dealt with. Against Solar, he hasn't made a drone in like 3 minutes. He's just transferring workers as he's running out of mineral patches. Just maintaining this 3-base economy. Solar, he's almost maxed. Oh, it's for Storm. Storms are connecting. Oh, good. Yeah, brutal connections. Ling Bane just melts. Solar trying to get into the mineral line, but he's running into a wall of Immortals, a wall of Archons. And it looks like he does get the Templar. No more Storms. Okay, no Storms left. Hydras are trying to break through. No more Zealots. Yeah, he's done it. Yeah, he has done it. He breaks the 3rd base. Solar, he overwhelms. He snowballs out of control. He punishes the build here of MaxPax. And again, it was a calculated decision here at a MaxPax. It did make sense, but alas, did fall in its face. Solar keeps rallying, gets into the mineral line. The probes, they try to get away, and no, they cannot. Every probe goes down. 24 probe kills. And again, MaxPax, he has nothing. Like, there's nothing left here. He's got 2 Templar, 2 Immortals. He barely has an economy. Soul just has to back up and get ready for round 4. Just get ready for another Emax. Another wave of Lingbane Hydra. Another wave. And again, like, I feel like this has been unnecessary. It's, specifically, I'm referring to Hero and MaxPax. They both tried to cheese on Tokamak. It's like, Bappy, we don't need to. Like, you don't they both tried to get like cheeky early wins instead. Whereas, like, this is the map where you can just turtle up and play standard. They both went for it. In their own ways, of course. Where Hero went Glaives and and MaxPax, he went into charge. Bane is connecting. Against Solar, he should not be able to defend. Here comes a flank. The final High Templar goes down. And Solar, he has done it. He breaks the Immortals, breaks the main army. There's nothing left. Down to 1 Archon. And Solar will start the series off with a win. With that win. Zealous being annoying, true. Zealous get across the map. Mineral line goes down. And GG gets called. Solar takes the lead in the series 1-0. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Winding it back, if you remember, what did MaxPax do? He went for early charge, went for a very early charge timing. As we mentioned, the goal there was to try to catch the Zerg player being greedy and cutting corners. Problem was that Solar, he wasn't really cutting many corners. He did skip Roaches, but he did not skip Banelings. So he was able to build up his Banelings, defend against the early charge timing, defend well enough to hold on, and then from there, he did turn that into a 3-base all-in. We saw that MaxPax was trying to defend, trying to get a 4th base up and running, getting into Archon Immortal, but the army was lacking because of the early charge timing that did not do enough damage. As we were trying to emphasize, if he had gone for a standard build against that with Mass Blink Stalker to support his army, he would have been perfectly fine, but he had no Blink Stalkers. He had mainly Zealots, which don't really trade well. They're not very efficient, as they're kind of one and done. They go in, they go down. GG, well played. And with that, we're loading into game number 2. Going to be loading into White Rabbits. Okay. Going to be loading into another one of these larger maps. I would say that this would be a decent map here for MaxPax to recover on, but let's go. Spawning in the top right-hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the Danish Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And again, MaxPax, he missed his opportunity to play standard and get in towards the mid to late game on Tokamak. Here, loading into White Rabbits, this is one of the more defensive maps in the new map pool, so this is not a bad map to try to go for a more standard style, but we'll see. We'll keep an eye on MaxPax, we'll see what he goes for. if things get more chaotic, I feel like that's going to be favoring Solar a little bit more. As again, we expect Solar to go at workers early, and we expect him to go for these more aggressive builds and more assertive timings and these all-ins. Let's go. So many KSLs ended with Dark versus Hero. Dark used to thriving weeklies. I mean, Dark, he is a lot more of an aggressive and more unpredictable player. I think Hero is a really good kind of a really good comparison to Dark, where Dark, he was a little more chaotic and a little more unpredictable compared to Serral, compared to Raynor. It's similar to the hierarchy of Protoss, right? Where when you think of the top 3 Protoss players in the world, Hero, MaxPax, and Classic, I mentioned it before, but Hero, he is the most aggressive and the most unpredictable out of the 3 of them. And I would say the same about Raynor, Serral, and Dark, where Dark he had the same kind of vibe to him, where he would very often go for like Link Queen Nidus all-ins, or Drop Lord all-ins, or Roach Base all-ins, and he'd mix in macro play as well, of course, but that's the thing, he'd mix it in, and it'd be very difficult to keep up with Dark. I would say that Solar has been having a little more success in recent times. That's also because Solar has been more aggressive. I would still say that he's a lot more standard compared to Dark. Even his all-ins are very standard. Like, they're very by the book. They're a lot more, yeah, kind of a lot more played out. Like, again, 3-base, like Link Queen Nidus all-in, sorry, Link Bane, Hydra all-ins, like they're very standard, and we see a lot of that nowadays. That's kind of what Solar's been embracing. Like Solar, he's not fancy with his play going for like Nidus Worms or going for Dropper Lords and stuff like that. Still aggressive, but not as chaotic. So I'm here, Stargate open out of MaxPax, building up into a 3rd base. Welcome to White Rabbits. White Rabbits is a very large map of the map pool. It's a large map, it has relatively defendable 3rd and 4th bases. I would say, for example, this triangular 3rd base here, there's choke points coming into it, there's high ground that you can make use of as well. So it's a relatively secure triangular 3rd base. We'll see how MaxPax expands. We have seen players go for the center. Oh, he's doing it again. God damn it. He's doing it in Twilight Council, Gateway Explosion. This is before the 3rd, though. This is much more aggressive. Now, I assumed it was going to be Glaives in Game 1, but it was Charge. I'm assuming, again, Glaives here in Game 2. We'll see if it's Charge again. But, show us what you got. Twilight Council, yep, there we go. Glaive Adepts here by MaxPax. So, once again, 2 games in a row. Early tech, early Twilight Council, early commitment here at MaxPax, not playing standard at all. Okay. Now, there's a higher chance that this will work in Game 2. I mean, I say higher chance. Is Solar going to cut corners? For now, Eva Chamber plus on melee, he's playing standard. Once again, if he skips his Roaches and if he skips his Bailey Nest, then this can get out of hand. Safety Roach Warren. I say safety at 440. So 440 Roach Warren timing. I believe this means that he can produce Roaches as the Adepts arrive, but they won't be ready immediately. So far, 3 drones. Adepts, they should be warping in back at home. Okay, here they come. You can see here they're hidden behind the mineral line. We're banking them up. Lings, they poke into scouts, and they will get eyes on the move out. Yeah, he does confirm. Does confirm. Spots all the Adepts. Confirms even more on the way. Does he have a wall? He does have the setup to wall off. Roach production has begun. He's got Roaches on the way. And the Glaive Adepts are coming. On the way into the natural. Going for the Queen. He's gonna get one. One queen goes down, busts into the mineral line. Roaches are barely popping out in time. And with the roaches popping out, I believe Solar should hold on. Yeah, he should hold on, takes down the Oracle. Drones, they pull away just barely in time as well. Drones are not going down. He's getting into the main though. Shading into the main base, drones are finally falling. Yeah, late reaction by Solar. He did no reaction even. Uh-oh. Losing up to 6. 6 drones going down. More depths here on the right-hand side. And this is getting in a hand. 10, 11, 12, 13. No! 14 drone kills, 15 drones. MaxPax, he does find damage towards the end. There's still depths out on the map as well. And behind this, Blinken +1. You have the standard follow-up here. Hoping to survive the counterattack. And Solar's crippled. Solar, he has been crippled. I'll be honest, I wasn't really convinced by going into Glaives here in game 2 on White Rabbit, but hey, it paid off. Did pay off, getting up to 19 drones. And Solar's all in. Solar, he's all in. We have overload speed on the way. What does this mean? Drop lords. It means drop lords here. So we're going for a German taxi. You can see, yep, there we go. Drop lords are morphing as we speak. Loading in the queens. Ling, Queen, Roach, Ravager. It's all or nothing for Solar. He has to end the game with this army or die trying. Back at home, MaxPax is getting ready. He's getting a shield battery here at the natural, shield battery at the third base, cannon as well. MaxPax, he should be fine. Like he has the tools to defend. He has the tools to defend. Comes down to the execution. Solar's moving in. So far, nice blink control. I believe one Stalker should go down. He gets one, he gets maybe 2. The shield battery putting in a lot of work. There we go, 1, 2, Stalker's falling. A nice position here behind the mineral line. So far, good position here by MaxPax. Does blink away. Lings are going down. It's a lot of Lings falling. Roaches are trying to get involved. MaxPax, we're banking up 1,000 minerals. Where are the warp-ins? Jesus. Yeah, MaxPax skipping warp-ins or missing warp-ins. Banking up a little money, but GG gets called. The all-in still fails, and MaxPax, he holds. He ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Again, Solar, he took so much critical damage here from the Glaive Adepts. They got 19 drone kills, insane damage. Initially, Solar, he was holding, defending, and then he refused to pull away workers from his main base, and that's when things started to get out of hand. Got out of control. GG, well played. Likewise, a bit of a more delayed scout and delayed reaction out of Solar. And now we have a series. We have that back and forth. Let's go. Now, based on how MaxPax has been playing this series so far, we might not get a macro game at all. I'll be honest. Like, if we decide to be hyper aggressive on White Rabbits and on Tokamak, then I feel like the aggression is just going to continue here. Okay, let's go. As spawning in the top left hand corner of Pylon, we have the Red Protoss. We have the Red Protoss player representing Sidestorm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have the South Green Zerg player. We have the Blue Zerg. Hello. Going pool first. Okay. It is Solar. Going for a 14 pool timing. So it's going to be pool into hatchery, very early spawning pool. Now the goal here is, if MaxPax doesn't realize what's going on, this early link production could actually kill the pylon. Could get the pylon. As the drone is being active, probe moves in, confirms the early spawning pool. He knows. He does know, he is aware. Solar, he's actually not. Yeah, he wasn't actually backing up his larva. We do have 4 lings on the way. And MaxPax goes to the 2-gate response. A should be fine. I mean, again, if MaxPax didn't scout the main base, then he would be in trouble. But here, I would say that MaxPax, I mean, at least is being forced to react, right? Typically, there'd already be base on the way. It'd be gate expand. But because MaxPax scouted the early spawning pool, he's forced to throw down a cybercore and a second gateway, and he's forced to go into a delayed natural base. So Solar, he has dealt some inadvertent damage, as there's still no expansion. Oh, yeah. Still no Nexus. Lings poke in, they shouldn't really get much damage done here. But again, they've heavily delayed the expansion. As we're even going yet double adept before the Nexus as well. So this is putting a lot of pressure here on MaxPax to get some counter damage. And he has potential. Now there's a bit of a give and take here. On the one hand, MaxPax, his economy is heavily delayed. That is true. On the other hand, late gas, no link speed, which means that these adepts, this counterattack can actually get out of hand. Comes down to the link positioning and the queen positioning. We have one Zealot, we have two adepts. This will be forcing out links from Solar. He's got one queen so far, soon to be two. Nice side on the tumor, going for the queen, no transfuse. Oh, gets one, gets two. Picks off two workers. The queen is getting very low. Speaking of a third, drone goes down. Zealot gets surrounded. Adepts a shade into the bases. Oh, the queen is tempting. It's tempting, Pat. And nice movement, nice positioning. Boys are being pulled. That's going to be 5 dead workers. And we're not done. We're rallying. We're rallying adepts across the map. More adepts are on the way. Aggression continues, and you can see how difficult it is for Soul to keep up because of the opener, because of how late link speed is, and of course because of the low queen count. Right, there's only 2 queens, only 2 queens. MaxPax pulls away. We have a Twilight Council and a Robot follow-up. 2 base all in, so 2 base all in at a MaxPax. He is initially deflected. Didn't kill the queen in the end. I feel like killing the queen would have been huge. And we're going to Glaives. I assumed it was going to be like a Charge Immortal all in, or like a Soul Train-esque all in, but now it's going to be Mass Adepts. Just warping in Mass Adepts, and again, this is going to be a difficult defense here for Solar, if not borderline impossible. Why is that? Well, I mean, he doesn't have the economy for roaches. Like, you can't make roaches, not like this, or banelings either. So it's going to be a Link Queen defense. Okay, Baneliness is on the way. Now, the one chance here for Solar is if these banelings connect, right? He needs them to connect here. He's a bait in the shade. And can land some miracle connections, otherwise that will be game. Solar spots the adepts, he knows. He knows what's coming. Massing out more lings. He needs those banelings as soon as possible. Here we go, we have 4. Okay, 4, 5. 5 banelings are morphing in. As many Solar can afford. But we're getting on top of the banelings. Oh, Queen to the shade. Gets up the ramp. Nice hold position here on the ramp as well. Banelings are waddling in. And MaxPax does free split. Lings, they get us around. They surround most of the depths. We have another warp in, but so far Solar, he's holding. Okay, he's holding on. He's defending. MaxPax, he's running out of steam. Doesn't get into the mineral lines. And Solar, he's running. Wow, he's running up. The longer this goes on, the better it is for Solar. MaxPax, he needs more. He needs more damage. So 5 more banelings on the way. Ooh, does find the 3rd. Uh-oh. Drones are exposed. Doesn't get too many. 2 drones going down, more depth warping in, more depths warping in. Pulling in more depths. Lings are keeping up with the shade. So we should have a transfuse here. No fights. Yeah, no transfuse yet. Another warp in. Are we hitting critical mass of adepts here? Do we have enough banelings? There are. Yeah, they force the split. Lings, they surround. The Prism's under fire. And Solar, he will hold. Banelings crash in. Oh, I spoke too soon. The Queens are on their own. Okay. This is slowly working. It's taking a while here. Breaks to the Ling Bane, takes out another Queen. Can he get the final Queen? One Queen left back. Oh, he gets in. The drones, they come back too soon. The drones come back too soon, but we shade into the natural. Our roaches are amassing. And with enough roaches, MaxPax, he cannot break through. And Sol, he's almost there. He's almost there. Casito. Oof. Instead of say shade into the main base. No, the drones, they fight. 8, 9, 10. 10 drones going down. It ups back in towards the third. Shading into the natural. This is getting out of hands. Oh, no. Solar, he was holding his own. Like, I was very impressed. Solar, he was defending. He was surviving. And now he's forced into an all-in. Solar, he's down to 38 workers. He lost 13 drones. MaxPax is on 3 base saturation. Immortal production has begun. Now, what I will say is that thankfully, we are on Pylon. What is Pylon? Pylon is the smallest map in this tournament map pool. So all-ins are favored. All-ins, they hit harder, they hit faster. And Solar, as you can see, he's not droning. He's lost a lot of workers, and he is not droning up his third base at all. It's not worth it. It's not worth droning up at this point. He's forced into an all-in. So Solar, he has to all-in. It's the only way to win this game. And back at home, MaxPax, there's one shield battery. He's got a couple of force fields. MaxPax needs time. So far, nice juggling. Nice juggling with the Immortal. Again, delaying the push. But the last is going to be enough here. Force field zone away. Miles, they knock him down. And depths are falling as well. Again, it's only 2 Immortals. And Solar, does he barely have enough? Oh, oof. As Miles, they graze the Pylon. Immortals being forced to kite back. Pylon goes down. Everything gets depowered. Yeah, it's just 2 Immortals. It's only 2 Immortals here, which means the space should fall. And on the one hand, MaxPax, yes, he was able to do a lot of economic damage, but he cannot stop the counterattack. He cannot stop the all-in. Solar, he breaks on through. Again, there just wasn't enough back at home. And the space will go down. Yeah, the third base will fall. MaxPax, it looks like he might be able to hold on to his natural at least, but Solar's now droning up. Now he's finally started to drone. Starting to saturate. He has crippled MaxPax. And again, MaxPax is controlling his Immortals well. Like, that is true. So migrating his heart out with 2 Immortals, there's only so much 2 Immortals can do. Only so much. As we're building up towards the Soul Train, we have our Immortal Archon charge lots. Got a couple of sentries, a couple of force fields. And what's important is the Solar. What did he join up to? He joined up to 51. That is still under 3 base saturation. So he joined up slightly. And now he's back onto pure Ling Bane Roach Ravager. Or Ling Roach Ravager. And the goal should be for Solar to get a 4th base just for Larva, and then just push again. And go for a 2nd wave. Go for a massive 2nd wave. Should be the plan. There's the 4th base. Again, Solar, he's fixated on purely army production. Again, you may be looking at the overall supplies here and be like, oh, MaxPax is up in work, he's up in probes. Like, that's good, right? It's, I mean, kind of. The problem is that, again, Solar, he's not interested in droning. He's not interested in macroing. Not interested. It's all about this. So here comes round 2. The 2nd round, the 2nd wave. Back at home, what do you have to defend? So there's going to be 3 Immortals. Storm is going to be done in time. Okay. So Storm is going to be done. Storm will help. go. Main army towards the third. Banelings that have been spotted. Oof. Yeah, waste of Banelings. Okay, shut down by a handful of Zealots. Meanwhile, Storm with a ramp. Not quite. We're stacking Storms. And there's nobody left. Remember, there's only 3 High Templar. There's only 1 Storm remaining. Soon to be 2. So 2 Storms. Solar, he second guesses himself. We have drones on the way. Solar, he saw the Storm, he saw the Immortals. He's like, oh, I'm not too confident. Solar, he starts droning. It's a little bit concerning as these are late drones for Solar. Like, Pappy, we gotta commit. We gotta double down. We gotta be confident, Pappy. Oh, speaking of, they get into the middle line. 14 probes go down. Okay, now we can drone. Now we can drone up. 19 probes falling. Aye. I mean, now would be the time to drone, but Solar actually just focusing on purely army production once again. 20 more links in production. And Solar, he's almost maxed out. It's almost maxed out. That's a very hefty army here. How many Immortals? 10! 10 Immortals, 5 Archons. Like, this is a death blow of an army. Jesus. Banelin's getting into the middle line. Zealous getting into the main. Solar, he needs to try to engage ahead of time. He needs to try to force out these Storms. Oh. Zealous being so annoying. We have Zealots here hitting the 4th. Distraction in the 4th, they distract in the main. More Zealots are warping in. Like, again, this is a terrifying death blow. Sorry, MaxPax, he can win the game here. He can win the game with his army. Lands a Storm. Oh god, we stand in it as well. Yeah, the Storms are brutal. And Solid, he will lose everything. He will lose everything. GG gets caught. He gets Stormed. The Immortals, they hold their own. And MaxPax with the counterattack, with the comeback even. GG takes the lead in the series 2-1. GG. Very impressive there from MaxPax. Despite the difficult follow-up here after losing his 3rd base after being knocked down to 2 expansions. We did mention though that Solar, it did look like he was definitely wavering in his confidence of his all-in, where he pushed in, he saw the Storms, he backed off and he droned. The problem with doing that is that ideally, even if you can't break the defending Protoss player there, you want to force out those Storms so they don't have them for the counterattack, right? Like, you want to be forcing out those Storms, you want to be trading, you need to be active and aggressive. I mean, hey, right after that, he got into the middle line and killed all those probes. You need to be in the face of the Protoss, but alas, he was second-guessing himself. It looked to be the case there, where Solar, he was not really too confident in actually being aggressive and pushing in. So he gave MaxPax a lot more time to build up that core, to build up those Immortals, and build up those High Templar. GG. GG, well played. And with that, we're now getting into Ruby Rock. Now we have MaxPax taking a lead in the series, and 1 game away from claiming the series as well. Let's go. Let us go. Just catching up in the chat. Very build-oriented, Dark is more intuitive. I would agree with that. I think I would agree. That was in the, regarding the... Oh. Jesus. That was regarding the previous discussion. But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner. Top left-hand corner here of Ruby Rock. We have the Danish Protoss player. We have the Danish Protoss. We have the red Protoss leading the series 2-1. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. Here we go. Just catching up. Here we go. Storms are all I hear anymore. I mean, there was some juicy connections there towards the end, but as we mentioned before, like a lot of that was also on Solar. Like he gave MaxPax a lot of breathing room, he gave him a lot of time. After breaking the third base, which allowed MaxPax to recover. I don't want to take too much away from MaxPax though. I mean, to be fair, like it was him that was able to retain those immortals from the early game and build up that immortal count and build up those storms. Here we go. As we are building up, getting to a more relatively standard opener here by Solar. Again, this series so far has been very chaotic. It's been very chaotic. It's been very aggressive, very intense. We haven't seen any standard games yet, and we're loading into Ruby Rock. Ruby Rock is a more aggressive map of the map pool, much more aggressive. We speak about this all the time. Has an open third base, has an open fourth base as well. We expect to see Solar going for an all-in here. We expect a 3-base all-in. But MaxPax has been very unorthodox this series, right? We've seen Glaive Depths, we've seen early charge, we've seen more Glaives. So MaxPax has not been playing standard. And I wouldn't be opposed to something more aggressive here as well. Say early blink. We'll keep an eye on him. Go. Oh no. We have some replays redeemed in the chat, Pap. Yeah. If you want us to cast your replays, then you can send the replays over to our Gmail. We have a Gmail account, cranklings@gmail.com, or you can send them on Discord. Join our Discord server, send them there. So Discord or email. Gibbs the replays. So now the Oracle's moving out. MaxPax taking his third base. No shot this is the first game that we're going to see MaxPax just go for a standard opener. We'll see. Somatic Folks in. Major so far. His third base is getting up. He's building up his third base. Early Eva Chamber out of Solar, once again going into +1 melee. So far, Solar playing standard. And there it is. Twilight Council's on the way. Gateway Explosion. So earlier Council. We'll see if he goes for a later Forge. Or no Forge entirely. So we're leaning towards either early Blink or Glaives. As the Oracle gets into the third base, drones going down, getting 2 drones so far. Lings, they will hit the third. The Oracle's out of position. We'll get this around. Gets one, it gets 2 adepts. More drones going to be falling. Okay, chaos everywhere. seven drones go down. 8 drones. 8 drone kills, no Forge. Show us the Glaives. What's it going to be? Twilight Council's finishing. MaxPax's macro is slipping. Going into Blink, but delayed Blink here. MaxPax was banking minerals, banking gas as well. So shaky setup here. Yeah, late Blink, late Forge. The timing is going to be off. And we have a back and forth. I mean, in the end, did kill a lot of drones, true. So Solo lost a lot of workers. But he did force some inefficiencies out of MaxPax. And this is meant to be an early Blink timing to break the 4th base. If you remember, Max actually went for this build against Jan Yakov on this very map. On this map. Did do it against Yakov. The goal is to break the 4th base. We'll see if he can. So far, trading well against the Lings. Trades well. Stalkers, they move out across the map. And it's going to be a tough hold here. Things are amassing. Does notice the stasis. Nice, very nice bait. Baits out the stasis trap. MaxPax has to pull away. And remember, Blink is delayed. It is later than what it should be. So Solar, he's holding. Wow, he holds onto the fourth base. Better positioning for Solar. This build from MaxPax has not been worth it. Trying to rotate back over, but again, there's plenty here to work with. Does Solar notice? Oh, stasis goes off. Nice connection, but he just fully wall off the ramp. So he fully walls off. Still helps in the defense. In the midst of all this, Solar, he's droning, he's saturating. Banelings are walling into the mineral line. At MaxPax, he does react. Thankfully, he does pull away in time. So far, he pulls away. And Solar, it looks like he is not going to be taking up, as we assumed, right? He's going for his fourth base, now his fifth. Valava joining up to 78, massing up with Linkbane Hydra. And we'll see if he can break MaxPax. As MaxPax, he does have Storm. Storm is done. Storm is ready. So far, we have a wall of cannons and shield batteries on the way at both bases. As we mentioned before, the entrance here into the third and fourth base is very wide, so that's going to favor the aggressing player. And Solar, he's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. It's going to be go time. He does spot the wall. His own Baneling run by as well. And the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for MaxPax. So again, right now, like Solar, he's almost maxed out at 200 supply. And he's all in. Solar, he's all in. There's no further tech, no hive, no lurkers. This is meant to end the game. Banelings, they do roll into the mineral line. No major connections. Sky Toss is on the way. As you mentioned, like Solar's on a timer. If this takes too long, then we're gonna get more Tempest, more carriers, Mothership. Let's go. And the army has been spotted. Solar once again splitting up. Splits up his forces. Baits out the stasis traps. There aren't many High Templar here on the top side. Yeah, MaxPax's army isn't split well. He's got too many High Templar here towards the south, but there's barely any army. MaxPax out of position. Catching up 4 High Templar. 6 High... Oh, good. 6 Templar go down. Bailey's there making their way into the mineral line. And there's the first Storm. Storms, they do somewhat connect. Solar moving in, stasis goes off, and MaxPax he's holding. Yeah, so far he's holding on. Has plenty more storms. But he does lose his exact defense. No more cannons. And here comes the second wave. And here comes the second wave for Solar. Going for the expansion. Takes down the Nexus. Here he kites back, gearing up on the left-hand side as well. And initially, MaxPax held, but he will lose the third and the fourth expansion. Oh, go for the Templar. Nice snipe. And again, this is the map working against MaxPax. Like we did mention that it's just very open here at the third and open at the fourth base as well. It's difficult to turtle up like this. And Solar just keeps going. Just keeps on going. So he's Max coming in from behind, going for the Templar, forcing out Storms. Yeah, we get some decent baiting connections. Yeah, High Templar, they go down. 0 Templar left, 0 Storms, the base falls. And Solar, he's forcing the ace match. He's forcing game 5. Breaks through the Stalkers. Getting on top of the Immortal. And there's just nothing left here for MaxPax. GG gets called. Solar ties with the series 2-2. We're going to the ace match. GG. We're going to game 5, and again, this is more of what we expected out of Solar here on Ruby Rock. Unfortunately, it was a very shaky build out of MaxPax, so he was playing from behind, winding it back. If you remember, MaxPax, he was meant to be going for an early blink timing to break the 4th base, but because of the aggression that was happening, because of the Adept Harass and the Ling run bys, we saw that MaxPax was very late with his own blink timing. He was banking up, it was like 700 minerals, 300 gas, like he had a lot of resources banked up, where he delayed his Forge, he delayed his blink, he delayed everything. And remember, it was meant to be a crisp timing, and he missed it, right? He missed that timing. That's why when he moved out, Solar, he was more than ready. The hatchery was already done. Plenty of Ling Queen to defend. GG. GG, well played. So from there, we saw that MaxPax fell behind, and now we're getting into the ace match. We're going all the way here to the final game. Let's go. Going to game 5. Wave survival for MaxPax. For sure, that's what it turned into. But again, MaxPax, he messed up his build early on, he missed his timing, he fell behind, and Solar had full map control from there. And here we go, we're getting into the ace match, getting into game 5, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Danish Protoss player, we have the red Protoss representing Sidestorm Gaming, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the blue Zerg player representing Team Falcons, it is Solar. Here we go. And I'm very excited about 10,000 feet. I feel like this map has yet to disappoint. We've seen a lot of very fun games on 10,000 feet, a lot of TVZs, a lot of ZvPs as well. We typically see more aggressive games here coming in towards the mid-game. And so now, we are expanding, we're setting up. When it comes to the features of the map, the rush distance by ground is a little bit shorter. It's relatively short. You can be much more aggressive here. When it comes to how you expand, I will say that the initial 4-base setup is relatively secure. Depending on where you expand, I should say. If you go for the triangular 3rd base, then you do spread yourself a little bit more thin. Otherwise, you can actually take this linear 3rd and the center expansion, and you can set up here on 4 bases. Taking the center base looks a little bit more vulnerable at times, but for the most part, because these bases are so close together, you can very easily situate your army here and defend both. You can defend both expansions with minimal rotations and keep this mineral patch up. Keep it up and expand forward. When it comes to harassing the space, tanks can abuse this expansion, ranged lurkers and broodlords can later on in the game, but for the most part, the Protoss player should be safe to take the center base. But we'll see how MaxPax approaches this. I think the most surprising thing for me is just how MaxPax has been playing this series. I would have favored MaxPax in some more standard macro games, especially on Tokamak, but he's the one that's chosen to go for early charge or to go for Glaive Adepts as well. Like, he has not been playing standard. Ay, ay, ay. So a little bit surprised with how MaxPax decided to play this series. But here we go. Opening up Stargate. So far, so good. You know, in the ace match, do we finally calm down and go Stargate into a 3rd base into +1 and blink? Like, do we finally go for a standard opener? Maybe. This might be it. So now the oracles are on the way. Poking in. We see Solar taking the linear 3rd base. As we mentioned, we do have these patches that can be opened up to expand at the triangular 3rd. But we have often seen players take it later in the game and save it and hold onto it for like a 4th or a 5th base. or even a Sig. Yeah, we're not playing standard. Okay. This looks like the European opener. This looks like Robo into Twilight Council, into Temple Archives, into Delayed Archon drop. Okay. Assuming we get a Temple Archives from here. This is a build that was very popular at the start of the year. Yep, there it is. So Robo, Twilight Council into Temple Archives, High Templar are going to be warping into a Delayed Archon drop. This is a build that was very popular at the start of the year. If you remember, specifically the Polish Protoss players, Mana was very fond of it. Mana, he loved this build. Cristiano was very fond of it as well. Because Mana and Cristiano were doing it all the time, then we saw Geralt attempt it and play with it a little bit. Players like Bappy as well, Ziomek, Skillis, Nikita, MaxPax. This is a build that did permeate throughout the European scene. This did not catch on with the Koreans. So players like Zaun, Trap at the beginning of the year, Hero, Classic, they didn't touch this. They didn't really touch this. There are some pros, there are some cons to it. This does allow you to harass and be active with the Prism or with the Archons, that is true. But it's not as aggressive and it doesn't give you as much as potentially early Blink can. So it's less aggressive, is maybe the better way of putting it. But we have seen this build come back. So again, this was really popular at the start of the year, and then it died off like maybe the month before EWC. Like around the lead up into EWC, this build kind of fell off. And in recent weeks, it's returned. And we actually have seen Hero do this. Hero, he did this like last week, I want to say. Like around last week. I want to say Hero did this against Reina, right? During Little League Cup. Here comes the Archon drop. The downside, of course, is that this is like relatively greedy tech-wise. You can see here a second Robo's on the way for double Immortal production. And with the early Infestation Pit, are we going into Swarm Hosts? Swarm Hosts are a very common response to this. So Swarm Hosts are on the table. Prism pulls away. If we confirm Swarm Hosts, we'll get into why. For now, Archons are hunting down Overlords. They're just being annoying. Again, the bases themselves aren't really under threat. And we're waiting for those Swarm Hosts. Show us what you got. Getting a Overlords. Secure back at home. There's an Itis. And we're waiting for the wave. And there it is. 8 Swarm Hosts are on the way. So the reason why Swarm Hosts are a very common response to Archon drops, I should say they are a very common response. There are 2 common responses, either Swarm Hosts or Mutas. And both of them have the same rationale, no blink. There's no blink stalkers. So going to Mutas, because there's no blink, because there's limited anti-air, Mutas can actually wreak havoc and just pop off and just kill everything or kill all the mineral lines. Swarm Hosts are very similar, where how do you deal with Nidus Swarm Hosts? Blink stalkers do a great job at rotating between the bases and hunting down Nidus Swarms. Here, with a much less mobile army, this is where the Nidus Swarms are safer, right? The Nidus Swarms are safer, and the Locust Waves, they have a lot more potential as a result. So it's just a very common response, very common reaction. MaxPax should be in the back of his mind. MaxPax hasn't confirmed, but there's an Itis. And you can see MaxPax making Blind Phoenix. I mean, again, Mutas was also an option, right? This is also an option. Local save into the main. We'll see what we can get done. Another Nidus on the right-hand side. And again, this is the biggest weakness here of going for the Archon opener is your lack of map control. Just lack of map control. You're stuck at home, High Templar goes down. Ooh, bit of miscontrol here as the Swarm Host gets thrown away. We'll lose the Swarm Host. And you can see Solar, he's switching into Hydra Lurker. So it's all about these Swarm Hosts, maintaining the Swarm Host, gaining value, containing the Protoss player, and then taking up into Lurkers in time for the counterattack. Very similar to the game on Pylon, MaxPax is going to be stuck on 3 bases. MaxPax, he should not be able to expand, and he should be building up a death bull of an Immortal High Templar Storm Archon army. And we saw that on Pylon, he just ended the game, right? He just A moved across the map and ended the game on Pylon. But this time, the hope is that Solar has lurkers ready. And speaking of lurkers, there it is, Hive and Lurker Den. Ooh, and this time he gets into the mineral line. 10 probes going down. The Swarm Host, they're gaining value. You can see the MaxPax is trying to hunt down the Swarm Host. So he moves in. Solar, he's maxed. And Solar, he should be trading out some of these roaches to eventually morph in the lurkers. So he has to trade. He needs to fight here. And his goal is not to kill. Like, he's not meant to kill the base. He's not meant to break MaxPax. Just trade out units. Storm connects. Locust Wave is making its way into the mineral line. Gets an Archon. You can see how many Immortals there are. Jesus. So many Immortals. Gets another 2 Archons. 3 in total. 3 Archons go down. You can see the Lurker upgrades on the way. Here come the Hydras. Here comes the Remax with Lurker Tech. And there is a window in time here where Solar could die pre-Lurker, but you can see that window's closing. Like, we're slowly making those Lurkers, and if they're able to finish up in time, like, Solar should be fine. Should be fine here. Roaches, they do start to step in. Catching at the Zealots. Roaches are being thrown away, that's fine. You can see Solar, he's refining his army. So far, 9 lurkers, soon to be 11. Other Locust Wave gets another Archon. Going for the Immortal. Oh, can he get it? What a mass! Oh my god, barely not. The Immortal survives. And again, Solar is still very much so in control. The soup does lie. You can see the MaxPax is building up a comparable army size, but again, it's very much so a fixated ground-based army. Oh, Swarm has to be careful. Oh no, it doesn't get away. Yeah, unfortunately here, some miscontrol by Solar. It gets caught out. This is MaxPax's moment. Okay, what do we have? We have 11 Immortals, 4 Archons, and 5 High Templar. And he's pushing into upper ramp into lurkers. Yeah, lurker shots go. Oh no, the High Templar! Oh, he gets 2. Yeah, 2 Templar go down, breaks his shields, gets an Immortal, and you can see just so much damage being dealt here. And again, MaxPax, he has no setup for Skytals. Oh, this is late. Very late here. Second Stargate. Now he goes to the free peak, and this is so heavily delayed. The game may not last that long to switch into Skytals. He's stuck on the ground. Pulls away from the storms. Locust Waves continue. Meanwhile, massive warp in into the main, okay? Does go for the warp in. Damage is being done. These Zelts are getting out of hand. And Solar, he's late to react. He's late to rotate. Does rotate in time to defend. Oof. Catching at Archons. Zealots, they do get some decent damage in the main base, but likewise going to be cleaned up as well. And MaxPax has to get out of here. He's throwing away too much. Oh no! Oh my god, losing every single High Templar. Yeah, every Templar goes down. 0 storms. Locust Wave into the mineral line. More probes going down. And again, this is why, like, these Archon builds, like, they fell out of favor at the start of the year. Ah, god. Players, they already have a lot of experience against this. That's why we mentioned, again, either going to Spire and Mutas or going to Swarm Host, or just counter reactions, counter responses. Solar, he played this out well. Pushing into the center base. And he takes down the expansion. Yeah, Nexus does fall. And sure, we have a couple of Tempests here, but it's only 2 Tempests. It should not be enough. Solo wedging himself into the natural. In between the natural and third. More reinforcements on the way. And we do see that Solo, he doesn't have a Spire, but he should be fine. Should be fine with Hydras. Should be fine. And he gets into the mineral line. A couple of lurkers are getting picked up. The Immortals, they hold their own. They're trading. They trade. These Hydras are going to be cleaned up. At the same time, we have another lurker push on the right-hand side. Cells are getting some counter damage, but for the most part, the bases are falling. Yeah, again, MaxPax, he just cannot expand. I will say that the drone count is actually quite low for Solar. So the droning is lackluster for the Zerg. And that is slowing Solar down. Using more lurkers. The Locust Wave will kill the natural mineral line or the natural nexus. You can go for both, true. Again, well as us. Now, how many Tempests do we have? We're getting up to 5. Now, I mentioned earlier that, like, oh, the Tempest count is okay. Like, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Now it's something to worry about. Build up to 5 Tempests. Swarm Host, they left idle. No, get out of here. The Swarm Host. Yeah, Solo now he notices. Trying to scuttle away. So Solo is slipping up a little bit here. He's building up his Hydra Lurker Viper. Let's see for the abductions. He gets 1, he gets 2, 3. Oh my god. He's gonna get all 4. Almost all 5. And yeah, the Tempest count is nothing to worry about. GG gets called, and Solar, he will take the series 3-2, taking down MaxPax and becoming the champion for WardiTV Monday number 59. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Solar as it does claim the series. And again, I was really surprised by MaxPax. Fun fact: in all 5 games, he never played standard. Like he never went for a standard build, never went for a standard game. Was always early tech, early either glaives, early charge, early blink. Here, going for an Archon drop opener, a delayed Archon drop opener as well. Going Stargate, Robo, Twilight Council into Temple Archives. So we had some really diverse play here by MaxPax. Never played standard, and Solar, he just committed to aggression time and time again. Again, here the final game was more one-sided, just because this build is very played out. It's very, very played out. We have seen some success before. I did mention that we just saw, it was last week, where Hero did beat Raynor with this, right? He did beat him by going into this delayed Archon drop. It can be difficult if you don't have as much experience with it, but as we mentioned, like, we played this out so much at the start of the year, and Solar, he was so confident in his response and his reaction to go into the Swarm Host and to go for the Lurker follow-up as well. I think that's the most important part. We have seen some Zerg players go Swarm Host and then they get stuck on Ling Bane Roach Ravager. It is crucial here that Solar, he went Swarm Host and then very quickly got ready for the Lurkers, right? He very quickly got ready for that ground follow-up, and MaxPax didn't see it coming. That's why his Stargate was so late and his Fleet Beacon was so delayed, because he wasn't really expecting, what I'm getting at is that MaxPax wasn't expecting a wall of Lurkers, so that caught him off guard. So MaxPax, who was caught with his pants down, wasn't expecting it, and that's also why this game was so more heavily in favor of Solar and so much more comfortable for Solar, because MaxPax, he just was unaware. GG. GG, well played. Here we go. Congratulations to Solar. And again, interesting style here from MaxPax. Just catching up. MaxPax saying 1/1 on Protoss, 1 Robo, 1 Starport, 1 Twilight Council. It's Stargate into Robo, Twilight Council, Temple Archives. You're missing a 1 there. You're missing extra 1s. But it's at least we call it here like a delayed Archon drop. It's delayed because it's later than like a DT opener. Like DT openers get into Archon drops faster. This is later because it relies on High Templar, not Dark Templar. Oh. GG. Tired of Zerg dominating the weeklies. Oh, don't get baited in the chat. Don't get baited. This is like the second win of the year. Don't get baited. Yes, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Solar. And we did actually have some replays redeemed in the chats. Hold on. Let's have a look here. I think we got 3 replays that redeemed. So if you're in the chat, like Peon, for example, yo, where are the replays? Where are the replays? I'm checking. I don't have an email. I don't have anything on Discord. If you want us to cast your replays, reach out. Reach out. Whether it's on Gmail, whether it's on Discord. Gibbs, Pappy Gibbs. I was just wasting points. Okay, I assume so. Oh, no. Terran wins including Clem is actually similarly low level as Zerg. I don't know if that's true. I mean, the verbiage there is important. You said similarly. I think it's still in favor of Terran. Like we've seen Cure and Beyond, for example, pop off. So you can probably say similarly without Clem. But regardless, GG. GG, well played. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up. Going to be wrapping up here with our morning broadcast. When it comes to the rest of our schedule, when it comes to the rest, here we go. We do have quite a week ahead of us here. So as you can see, we have 3 WardiTV Mondays this week. The reason for this, if you remember, is that last week Wardi he was on the Twitch front page. He was on the front page of Twitch. So because he had front page time, he did decide to host 2 weeklies back to back. So he went for WardiTV Monday 59 and 60 last week, back to back open cups. Because of that, we have extra replays for the extra weeklies that were taking place. So tomorrow at this time we should be live with WardiTV Monday number 60. It took place back to back. So just as a heads up, that's why we have 3 WardiTV Mondays this week, just because we're catching up with last week's WardiTV Mondays. Just because he double dipped for the Twitch front page. Likewise, we have Pickassar Cup on Wednesday. That's going to be a live broadcast of Pickassar Cup. We have the Pondcast. Usually we have the Pondcast on Thursdays, but because of the RSL playoffs, we are going to be having the Pondcast on Wednesday, and we'll be having a live cast of RSL. So that's going to be the Rival StarCraft League Season 3 playoffs, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Oh boy, sorry, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 days straight of RSL. We do have permission to co-stream, so it's going to be a little bit different. Think of it almost like a viewer party. We did the same thing for season 2, and I think we did the same thing for season 1 as well. There's a couple of casts out there where we were given permission to co-stream, like Esports World Cup and like this tournament as well. So that means that you're still going to be hearing audio from like the main stream alongside our audio as well, just as a heads up. So that is going to be our coverage of RSL this week. Again, that's going to be taking up most of our attention. Of course, we have WardiTV Mondays on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday to catch up on the games and on the replays that we missed out last week and this week as well. And because of RSL taking place throughout 4 consecutive days, that's also why we have no Tuna Cup. So no Tuna Cup this week, just because it's clashing with RSL, and RSL is a pretty big event. We don't really want to clash with something like that. Don't want to clash. RSL does take priority. Meanwhile, next week we're going to be live with Kung Fu Cup. Kung Fu Cups are going to be next week. We have TTT as well, and of course we have the Sparkling Tuna Cup monthly finals on the 30th of November. Just as a heads up, we have those monthly finals, and I think we're going to have some earlier seeding matches next week as well on the 25th. Oh boy. So again, a pretty intense month of StarCraft. Also a bit of a PSA. If you remember, initially there were going to be some show matches for the Chinese server. If you remember, the Chinese server returning, they were hosting show matches with Scarlet, with Oliveira, and they were going to have a big like fun event. I believe that has been postponed. I think maybe the server was postponed as well, but that was postponed until next year. So that was going to be at the end of November. No longer is that going to be the case. Just as a PSA, bit of a heads up. Bit of a heads up. Here we go. Yeah, with that, GG. With that, GG will play. Thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. And again, this is our weekly schedule here. We should be live tomorrow in 24 hours time with some more WardiTV Monday. Otherwise, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Hope you'll have a great rest of your week, of course. And also, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. You can support us there. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments. It funds the Tuna Cup, funds Tuna Cups, it funds Duckling Open and Master Swan Open as well. As I mentioned, the Tuna Cup monthly finals is going to be on the 30th of November. We're building up towards that at the end of the month, and this week there's no Tuna Cup because of RSL, because of the Revival StarCraft League. And again, we're going to be having some Tuna Cup seeding matches on the 25th instead. We'll get there, we'll get there. Otherwise, thanks for watching. If you want to support us, otherwise you can follow us on YouTube, !Socials in the chat. We do upload to YouTube on a daily basis. Every single day we have content on YouTube, plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. You can check us out there. Again, we do upload on a daily basis. We cast on a daily basis as well, so plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. Otherwise, we'll see you guys tomorrow with some more WardiTV Monday. Not on Monday. See you then. See you then, papi. See you then. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Ciao, papi. Ciao. Hasta luego.